Hello everyone, welcome to Angling News Week. I'm joined today by Matt Godfrey, who, alongside being my best friend, is one of the very best young anglers in the country and Editorial Assistant on Pole Fishing magazine. Now Matt, I'm going to start by asking you something which we both know has sparked a bit of controversy in the past. You're a northern angler, you've moved down to the Midlands.
Yeah.
How does the fishing compare down here to up north?
To be honest, I think it follows the general trend of the higher you go up north, the sort of more finicky and faffy the anglers get. The further south you go, things are warmer, there's more fish, people tend to fish bigger hooks, heavy lines, and it's a little bit more bagging, and round here seems to be a bit of a mediocre land for both of them things. Definitely.
I mean, one of the sort of big debates we often have is, where do you think the best anglers come from? What do you think? North, Midlands?
I've got to say north. I mean, we've got Alan Scotland up there, and he's just best, isn't he? We can't really say anything else.
Right, okay. You're obviously quite alongside being obviously a seriously good angler. When you've got your serious head on, you like a laugh. You're well known for having a comical side, aren't you?
I think so.
What would you describe as being your funniest angling moment?
Oh, that's another hard one. There's some that I obviously can't mention, but we've had some really good times when we've been away with the England junior team, and one of the best was this year in particular. We decided to go away on our own a week earlier to get some extra practice, and I actually travelled with Matt Derry, one of the other lads, in a van on our own. And we hadn't actually got a sat-nav to get to Slovenia, which is a long way.
That is a long way without a sat-nav.
Yeah, we got a map book, and we sort of marked our route out with a pencil in the service station on the way there, and that's all we had. And we set off, and we were doing really well. We got through Belgium, and we were just approaching sort of Austria area. Picked the road that we were going to go on for a long time, and got going on it. And we've been going for about an hour and 50 minutes, and I've glanced at the map, and it said junction 30 on the map, and the next junction we've come to said something like 272, and it was only at this point I realised we'd actually gone about 140 miles down the wrong way into Austria instead of going where we should have been going, and we had to just laugh about that. It was hilarious.
But it was your fault, not Matt's.
Well, I was reading the map, but I think
I mean, another question I want to ask you. You're a well sort of respected junior success story. I mean, you've won 3 junior world championships, haven't you? How do you view the problem or situation with regard to getting youngsters into fishing? Do you think there's as many in the sport now as there has been, or?
I think that there is quite a lot of young ones in the sport. I mean, you come fishing with me on matches, and there's a lot of sort of late teens, early 20 anglers who are very, very good, and have obviously had a good introduction to match fishing in particular. But then there does seem to be a lack of sort of 14, 15, 16-year-olds in that area coming in. And when I was growing up, we always had big junior setups, lots of small clubs knocking about to get kids into fishing. And now seems to be a distinct lack of that. I used to fish with workshop juniors, and sometimes we'd have 2 teams, even 3 teams in a national, and now they struggle to get one together. So I suppose one thing to do would be to sort of give that a reboost and try and set up some smaller clubs to get kids into it. And the only other thing I've been thinking about quite recently is there's not a very much of a push to get into schools. I mean, schools are the obvious place to get fishing introduced to kids, and I never had many opportunities with fishing at my school. I don't know about you.
No.
I think that is a very good line to go down to actually sort of introduce it to kids, and maybe we should look at doing something like that.
I mean, it strikes me as well, obviously carp fishing is massively popular, both commercial carp fishing in terms of match fishing and specimen fishing. Yeah. And the sort of international skills you need to do well when fishing abroad in the World Champs, etc. Although there are the occasional sort of leagues and circuits where it thrives, there's not as much of that as maybe there was 10, 15 years ago. Do you think that's a problem?
I wouldn't say it's a problem. I think commercials can be used and are very good for sort of introducing youngsters to fishing. I mean, you can take a kid fishing nowadays who's never fished before to a commercial and catch a variety of different fish, be comfortable, safe, toilets, facilities, more family orientated. So I think it is good for that. And I think, if I'm honest, the kids who are serious about it and want to go into this international setup will naturally progress through, like sort of work their way up, meet the right people along the way, and the ones who really want to do it will sort of naturally find the way there. I don't think commercials are a problem in that thing, and I think we can use them as an advantage with getting kids into fishing.
Definitely. I suppose like with anything, you as well working with a situation and trying to fight it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Who would you say, out of all the young anglers you've fished with, because I mean, you've fished now for the junior England team for 9 years now, is it?
I think 7 or 8 times, yeah.
In those years, who would you say the best other young angler that you've fished with has been?
I've fished with a lot that have really impressed me, really nice people who have been really talented, but of recent especially, I think the one that I look up to and learn from and talk to a lot is James Dent. He has really impressed a lot of people in recent years, and he's quite sort of late at coming to the forefront of it all. He grew up on commercials. He's another one, he's grown up on commercials, and sort of 18 years of age he's been picked up by the right people and he's into the international setup straight away. But I've watched him fish some big matches. I fished with him in Barnsley Blacks team and travelled abroad with him with the England junior setup, and he's really impressed me a few times.
He is an awesome angler.
He is. You've fished with him yourself, haven't you? One time that did impress me, I went and banked one for him in the National on the Trent, and it was the first year he'd fished for Barnsley, and everyone were doubting him going on the river, and he's fished the National, won his small section, fished a bolognese float down the middle of the river, totally alien to what people thought he could do, and he were awesome at it. Yeah. Pleasure to watch.
Did they have sort of £10 roach, was it that?
Yeah,
something like that?
6 kilo roach I think he had, yeah.
Definitely, very impressive.
Awesome.
I mean, you personally, obviously, I think one of the things that you do maybe suffer from sometimes, obviously people pick up on your international achievements and maybe neglect some of the successes you've had on the domestic circuit. What are you most proud of that you've achieved on the domestic circuit?
The most proud is probably winning the league on the canal at Thorn, the Winter League on the Thorn Canal. It's like a sort of kind of fishing I love, bloodworm fishing for roach, and it's a really high standard angler, and last year I was lucky enough to win that before Christmas on there, and I regard that as probably one of my highest. And
as you say, the standard of angler on there is pretty exceptional, isn't it really?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of the main England team fishing, and they're always good big matches, 60-70 peg matches.
Definitely. Looking forward, what does 2013 hold for you? Have you got any plans or ambitions for this year?
I'd like to just keep going fishing. We've got some big team matches coming up. We've got the Winter League semi coming up in the next few weeks. The National, we'll hopefully be going away with the England team to France again, if everything goes well. Just concentrate on them big competitions and have a good time along the way.
Definitely. Yeah, you certainly don't seem to do too bad at having a good time, mate, do you? So. Awesome. Well, all the best. Have a great year.
Thank
you.
Thank
you for joining us today. If you want to see more of this man, he, as I say, is the Editorial Assistant at Pole Fishing magazine. He's out the last Friday of every month, so pick up one of those and you'll see a lot more of Matt in there.